Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 15 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Just getting back, checking out my apiary here at the moment. I think last episode I mentioned that honeycombs can go into the apiary chest, but it looks like they pop out when you close the interface. So keep in mind, I think you can only store bees and such in there. So let's see what's going on here. Oh yeah, our Forest Meadows Queen is pretty low on health, as is our Forest Meadows Queen over here. Okie doke. So maybe I'll just wait a moment. Oh, there we go. Just tick down. We've got our Forest Meadows Princess and Forest Meadows Drone. And this guy should be ticking down in a moment too. And maybe I'll combine my Meadows Queens with Forest Drones for the moment. Let's see what happens. And this guy's all done as well too. So maybe I'll put down my Meadows Queen. Oh, that's a queen, isn't it? Yeah, I don't want that guy in there. Let's try putting our queens back. This is me not paying attention to what I'm doing as usual. So I'll take my Forest Meadows Princess and combine it with a Forest Meadows Drone. I don't think that's going to give me the option for anything too majorly different, but that's not a big deal. I'll just let that happen for now and we'll see what we get. Yeah, so we got another Forest Meadows Queen. I don't think we're crossbreeding by doing that. Oh, look, that got me a Meadows Queen. Alright, interesting. Cool. Well, I'll keep playing with this stuff, and hopefully I'll get the hang of it eventually. So Forest Drones and Forest Meadows Drones. Alright, cool. So all these guys produce a bit more honeycomb. I'm going to leave my honeycomb in my apiaries for now. And maybe head back to my house. As you can see, I put up a portal spawner over here. Just waiting for some grass to grow. And in this room, I place it right next to my Buildcraft room. So now I just step on this portal to get over to Buildcraft, and this portal over here to get to Apiary. That is just too cool. And let's get building on some cool stuff. And taking a look in my room here, you can see there's a lot of items setting up the white path. That's actually marble. And if I take a peek in here, you'll see there's a significant amount of it going into the overflow chest, as I've just recently labeled it. So why don't we run outside to our quarry and see how that guy's making out real fast. I debated putting up a portal spawn that leads to my quarry, but seeing as I was so close to my house, I don't think it's really necessary. Another thing I should probably consider doing is maybe getting a recycler going soon, just so I can start producing some scrap, but I'm not sure exactly when I want to start that up. We'll see. So how's this guy making out? Not bad. Oh, look at that. We even found a nice little water source down there. That's cool. So yeah, serious amount of marble. Looks like I hit a natural cave or so right down there. And not bad at all looking, really. So I'll come back and check on that guy again a little bit later. And you know what I'm thinking, guys, is maybe I want to move some of this marble here. And I should probably disable this little lever real fast when I do this. But what I'm thinking might be a good idea is to store some marble in my cobblestone chest right here. It's got similar EMC values, so that's not a big deal. This way, what I'll do is I'll say, hey, you marble, you go down the yellow path. That'll get you straight into this chest. And now that I've disabled that ticking thingy there, I can move some of this stuff out. And what do you think? Just a few rows of marble ought to do it? I think that looks good. So why don't I spend a few minutes here getting marble all cleared up, and I'll be right back. And I decided, since I'm moving all this cobblestone, why not just throw it in my alchemy bag here and turn it into some iron. So let's just see. Cleaning up the last row of this stuff, it looks like. How am I for overflow chest here? Not bad. But I don't want that basalt in there, at least not yet. Maybe in the future I'll have it. So that cleaned up my overflow chest pretty well. Do I want all this marble in here? Probably not. So I'm just going to move it all down like this. 2 rows of marble should probably suffice. After all, EMC value-wise, it's easy to transmute, but this way I just have a steady supply of it as needed. Then I've got plenty of cobble in there, and I wonder if my marble will shrink down. It will not. So why don't I just head down here. And you can see I grabbed some of this. I'll just start burning up my marble. So what's going to happen now is when I flip this lever back on, any excess items that accumulated in here, see, plenty of cobble and whatnot, will get pulled out in stacks and sent down the line. And my cobblestone will now pretty much still do the same thing it was doing before, but the marble will land in there, and any excess marble will get burned in my antimatter relay. And all that cobblestone that I just threw in there will probably find its way down here. There it is. Alright guys, I think I need to add on to this sorting machine room. It's time to get a recycler going. Now what a recycler does is basically it'll recycle materials into scrap. And scrap can be used for a couple different things, but most importantly for use in a mass fabricator. And the mass fabricator will produce mass, UU matter, and that stuff's used to make the quantum suit. And I'm wanting a quantum suit pretty soon, so I think it's about time I start working on this. So I'm just cooking up some refined iron here. Gonna go visit my project table here, get an electronic circuit, and you can see the recipe for the recycler requires a compressor. Pretty simple and straightforward. And then I'm going to need just one piece of glowstone dust and some dirt. So how about we go over to our dirt chest here, grab 3 pieces of that stuff, and some glowstone. Perfect. And then we can go crafting. So let's do this real fast. Compressor. Of course I need to make myself a machine first. There we go. Perfect. And then the recycler is as shown. Glowstone dust on the top, dirt, and refined iron. Sweet. Got myself a recycler. Next up, I'm going to need some pneumatic tubing and my paintbrush and all kinds of other nifty and interesting things. So let's see. I'm going to need a yellow paintbrush because I pretty much want all my cobble to get recycled. And I might as well recycle that marble stuff too. Can't hurt, right? Hopefully marble can be recycled. I don't know, never tried it. I'm going to need a good amount of pneumatic tubing, which I already have some of, so that's good. Also going to need some blue alloy wires. I'm probably going to need a retriever at some point to pull the stuff out, though I might use just a filter. And yeah, I'm going to need some glass fiber cables. Probably need a few more pieces of that. So let's get ourselves a couple pieces of silver and a diamond. Going to need more diamonds soon. Very soon, by the looks of it. So we'll do this. Silver on either side and glass along the top. Get me some, just a bit more of this fiber cable stuff. Cool. All right, let's get ready to build, shall we? So how about we place our recycler right here? Looks like a nice enough spot. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward. I'm going to have to work around all this mess that I have, aren't I? Yeah. Looks like it's not going to be quite as simple and straightforward as I would have hoped, but we'll figure it out. I mean, worst case, I'll just get it going. So I'll knock this guy off here and just run my glass fiber cabling straight under here like so. I should be able to do this, maybe. There we go. And into there. And that'll get some power into my recycler, which will be good. And I know I knocked off this blue alloy wire. I'll fix it now. Good. That looks pretty nice. And then I gotta find a way to get out of this big old mess that I just got myself into. That shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so that guy's got some juice now. We should probably turn this lever off for a few minutes, just to make sure nothing's flowing through my system as I'm trying to build. And look, there goes my sword. I'm going to need another one of those soon. Why don't I grab, I could use this glass panel that I just got, but I'm going to instead, where's this guy? Drop that in there, get one of these. Bring back my pneumatic tubes, which got clicked in there by mistake. Let's make a couple of sapphires. Time to go with the sapphire sword. That thing just looks nice. Alright, so now we'll get our pneumatic tubing up through the floor like this. First I need that stone cover here. And remember, shift click to place things against things without opening up the interface. And then pneumatic tubing. And remember, we have to paint it now yellow. And this will indicate that anything that has a yellow moniker will go through and land in the recycler. Awesome. And that looks like it'll be pretty solid for me. Next up, I need to consider how I want to do this. Do I want to do the retriever just for pretty much the sake of appearance? I mean, the retriever's really main purpose in doing it with the retriever is just to make it look pretty. I don't think that's a bad idea, to be honest with you. So let me get out of this mess that I just made, and I'll figure out a good way to do that. I'm going to go craft a retriever real fast, and that's going to be what I'll use to get the items out of the machines. Alright guys, got my retriever set up. I'm going to go ahead and create a gray dye here, and that's going to be used to create the paintbrush and whatnot that I need. I'm going to need a piece of wool, get a nice blank paintbrush. There we go. And I started crafting up some of this stuff, some tin plates for me. And I also need, I don't know if they're in miscellaneous junk or where they might be, flax seeds. Good, good, good. Just run in here and craft this up real fast. Got myself a paint can, a pair of flax seeds, and some gray wool. Will get me some gray paint. Hopefully that's a color I can use. I'm pretty sure it is, but we'll find out if it's not pretty fast. And then gray paintbrush. Perfect. And what I want to do with the gray paintbrush, basically, yeah, that looks solid to me, is go down here. There we go. I'm going to paint this guy gray. Perfect. So that will be my industrial craft slash buildcraft chest. That's where I'm going to pretty much wind up dumping all my buildcraft and industrial craft goodies as they come out. And where's the glass? There it is. So just remember gray is the color that I did there. Nice. And then I can probably clean up my inventory real quick. So now I'm going to spend a little time cleaning up underneath my flooring here. I'm basically going to knock this stuff off, because I need this line of stuff. And what I can probably do is, hopefully, be able to do this. Yeah, that should work. Run my blue alloy wire down here. There we go. And then I should also be able to run it up here like so. Perfect. Then I can run my pneumatic tubing straight down here, place my retriever like so, and I need my screwdriver, which now actually is on me. Just happens to be in this little gadget bag. Nice. So now my retriever pumps into my line, and I want to set the retriever's color to gray. Oh boy, there's two grays. I wonder which gray that is. I guess it's gray. Is there a gray and a light gray? I don't know. What colors are there? Yeah, there's a gray and a light gray. That's cool. Good to know. So I guess that's gray. And then I just need a little bit of power there. Let that guy fill up. Thank you, Batpack. Sweet. And now this guy will pull anything out of my recycler that lands in it. So the last thing to do here is to get out of the floor, if I can find out a way to do so. That's right, I'll get my way out in a moment here. Nice. And really looking forward to those quantum boots, that's for sure. And I guess I should probably clean this up a little bit. What I'll do is I'll just place down some covers for my red power stuff. Now you guys will note that covers don't work on a couple things. Specifically, they won't work entirely too well on that guy right there. So it looks a little bit off kilter, but there's nothing really you can do about it at least at this point. So we can cover up the flooring here. And maybe I'll do something about it in the future. We'll see. But for now, it's okay. So let's go ahead and just cover this guy up too. And right here. Not half bad. So, like I said, maybe we'll do something about that fiber cable in the future, but for now, this looks pretty good. And what we should get, oh yeah, I forgot. Ha, almost forgot. I need to run my redstone current thingy here, don't I? I have to activate this guy with a redstone pulse. Let me think about exactly how I want to do that. Alright, I think the best way of doing this, as far as I can come up with, there's probably a few ways to do it. I could use a redstone pneumatic tubing, which is a pretty neat little toy. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and get something like this. A new item for those of you who haven't watched my last series, but if you did, you'll recognize this guy. I believe I have a red alloy ingot in my redstone chest here, and if I take that red alloy ingot and surround it with stone covers, I get this thing called stone jacketed wire. Now I'm going to want to get at least one more set of those. So let's go ahead and use my handsaw here to get some more stone covers. And you can actually get this in all kinds of different shapes and designs and whatnot. I'll show you the recipes in a moment here. There we go. So you can see you can get cobblestone, you can get wood, you can get brick, dirt, obsidian, all kinds of cool stuff, right? But for now I'm just going with stone. And the basic function of this thing, they're all the same, they're just different appearances, is you can run some stone jacketed wiring like so. And note that it can stand on its own. It doesn't have to be connected to anything. So it can kind of run up all along its own, kind of like cabling, which is awesome. And I have just enough here to connect to this guy. And that should cause that thing to pulse. Sweet. Exactly what I wanted to see. So that's just a nice little way to run your cabling underground. If you don't have a nice spot for it to run along, you can do it like that. It works great. So now we should be ready. And basically what should happen is let's throw, I don't know, a handful of cobblestone in here. And that'll get recycled. And there's pretty much a 1 in 8 chance of recycling your cobblestone into an item called scrap. Let's throw a little bit more in there. And every couple seconds that scrap should be pulled out. So let's see what happens. Come on. Let's go. And I might want to turn up the speed on this thing with some overclockers. So there we go. Scrap was produced. And it got pulled out awfully quickly by my retriever. And it was given a gray path to follow. And sent straight over here. Awesome. There it is. So now my scrap, being made by my recycler, and I'm probably going to need some overclocker upgrades. So why don't I go craft a few of those real fast. So let's see how well this thing runs. If I get, I don't know, oh man, what am I out of? Refined iron? Darn. Let me just go grab a few of those real fast. One. 2, 3 of these ought to do it. And I'm going to grab 6 copper. There we go. 1, 2, 3 overclocker upgrades. Should be pretty good. I might boost this guy up to 4 or 5, but for now I think that's a good number. I should grab my EU detector too, because I'll be curious to see what the increase in EU usage goes with 3 or 4. I believe it goes up by 50% for each overclocker upgrade, so I think it's 1 by default, and then with an overclocker it'll be 1.5. Where is my EU reader? There it is. But it goes up pretty quickly, so let's throw, I don't know, I should have plenty of cobble in here. Yeah, look at all this stuff. Oh well. Right, so now it should be using about 1 energy unit per tick. Right? Come on, Slowpoke. Yeah, roughly 1. And remember, the longer you wait between your clicks, the more accurate your number steer will be. Now, if I place my 3 overclocker upgrades in there, that guy's cooking along pretty fast. And not a huge increase either. Looks like we're averaging around 3. Does that sound about right? Yep, not bad. I might even throw a few more in there just for a little bit faster speed. Now what's going to happen is, because we have this backlog here, let's see what happens. Flip this guy on. So it's going to go ahead and send that stuff down the yellow path. And this recycler is not going to be able to keep up with as many items as it can have in there. So all the other extra stuff is going to be sent back over to my antimatter relay. And I'm not going to worry too much because it'll sort itself out eventually. Maybe I do want to build a few more overclocker upgrades. But for now, any extra yellow stuff will be sent down this path or into my AMR. There we go. So again, not terribly concerned. And if that antimatter relay fills up, it's alright because the yellow items will start heading back in the direction and they'll basically bounce around between my antimatter relay and my recycler. And one way or another, they'll all get taken care of. See how fast that's running now? Maybe I do want to get a couple more overclocker upgrades. I think I'm going to go get some more water cells and take care of that real fast. Alright, I'm going to boost this guy up to 5 overclockers and see how well he goes. Oh yeah, much faster now. And with an EU reading of... Let's reset it to make sure it averages out. 7? That doesn't seem so bad. Yeah, 7.15, 7.1, not bad at all. And that gets me some serious speed on my recycler. So you can see yellow items still bouncing around. All they're going to do is bounce around in my tube system back and forth between the antimatter relay and the recycler. And they'll kind of like squeeze in wherever they can. See how that cobblestone number just went up? And it's reminded me it's probably about time I consider upgrading that thing, but I'm desperately low on diamonds. Yes, I am. So maybe I should consider mining for a little bit. Well, guys, I do have some gold and some diamonds, so why don't we go do our little transmutation thing, because this AMR is just having a little trouble keeping up. So I think what might be a smart move right now is to turn off my auto-sorting system for a moment, let all the stuff backlog up in there. Now, granted, this AMR is not going to be, this backlog typically, but I do want to make sure that it can handle a large amount of resources coming in at a time, and also I want to make sure that it's getting all the benefits it can. And an antimatter relay benefits by being a higher tier, both from having a larger inventory stack by burning things faster than it currently does, and I'm just going to pull this stuff out real quick and break this guy off. There we go. And then I need, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll just grab a handful of these guys. Nice to have a few on me anyway, just as extras. So again, the old dark matter. There we go. And what's the recipe that we can use this antimatter relay in? Alright, I need a little bit more obsidian. Looks like I need 7 of them. And if I run over here to my industrial craft, drop off this junk real fast. There we go. Now my antimatter relay Mark II is going to burn things faster, but it also gets a little bit of a bonus energy thing going on when it's next to a collector. Now I'm not entirely sure how well this is going to work. Alright, so it won't collect energy with this thing powering up, but it will collect more EMC as a result of getting energy from the collector now than it would otherwise. So why don't we go ahead and drop off all this junk in there, and you'll know that things are cooking up a lot faster than they were a few minutes ago. Definitely faster. Plus we've got more inventory storage, so that's good. Alright, I think we're in good shape now. And I can drop off all these pneumatic tubes and all this other stuff that I don't need to have in my inventory for the next few minutes right in here. Even put that guy away. Awesome. So again, antimatter relay Mark II, burning things faster than the antimatter relay Mark I would. And now I can turn my system back on. What indicated that I needed to do this, by the way, is that I had a backlog of dirt. Way more dirt than I knew what to do with. To the point where the antimatter relay couldn't keep up, and it jammed up my sorting system. Not that it was a big deal or anything, but oh yeah, look at that recycler burning through the scrap. That looks cool. And we've already produced, wow, lots of scrap. Awesome. That scrap is going to be put to use in the future, don't worry. Alright guys, back to my apiary real quick. I'm going to sit here and combine a Meadows Princess with a Forest Drone again. Hoping to get a new breed of bee. Meadows Forest Queen. Oh well, no such luck. And what do we got over here? I can put a Forest Meadows Princess in, and hey, why not a Meadows Drone? I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I'm just going to randomly start combining stuff. Meadows Forest Queen. Alright, good to know. We can drop these guys in here for now. So, doing pretty good. Producing a lot of honeycomb. Don't worry, I'll get to what that's used for in the future. Now I can just run back to my base real fast. Let's check out our buildcraft room. Looks like we've got some combustion engines running along here. We can refuel them a little bit by flipping on the fuel lever. And again, both tanks will drain equally thanks to my balance pipe. Sweet. Looks good to me. I need to do more with Buildcraft pretty soon, but I don't think I'll be able to get to it all in this episode. But I do have something new planned there pretty shortly. I think I'm going to go mine for a bit. I'll be back. Alright, just wrapped up a good bit of mining. Let's run home and check out what kind of spoils I got. I'm going to drop all my junk in my chest as usual, and it'll just get sorted out with all the other stuff going through here. Not bad haul. I did get some diamonds. They're currently being compressed by my Gem of Eternal Density. So let's turn that guy off. Oh yeah, look at that. Not bad at all. So we'll let all those things sort out, and I'll be right back in a few minutes. Alright, well I'm waiting for everything to cook over here. I'm going to sneak into this room, and for now I'm going to let the last bits of Mobius fuel here collect, and I'm going to throw my redstone in here, not targeting, but in the condenser, just as like a storage area, because I'm going to eventually want to upgrade that redstone. So what I might actually do is pull this Mobius out of here, and now my relay is going to start collecting EMC from my collector, which is good. And I want to build a new item, so let's get this thing turned off before I break my house down. I bet one of these days you guys really want to see me do that by mistake, don't you? Not gonna happen, at least not on purpose. And then let's go over to our transmutation grid and throw an Eternalis fuel in there. And remember, that's worth 8,192, and that'll get me 4 Mobius fuel. And if I place a diamond in the center of my crafting grid here with my Mobius fuel around it, I'll get my first level Klein Star. Now the Klein Star works pretty similarly to the way it did in 1.0. It basically acts as a battery for EMC. It stores EMC. And if I place it in the charging slot of my relay, it'll start sucking up all the EMC in there and start adding it all into the Klein Star. And believe it or not, that Klein Star will take a while to charge up. Luckily, I happen to know an item that I don't have terribly large amounts of use for just yet that's worth a lot of EMC. You guys might have noticed as I was downstairs, this tungsten ore is worth a heck of a lot of stuff. And if I place one in here, oh look, it's not burning up. There we go. Okay, cool. It's doing what I wanted it to do. Interesting that it doesn't auto drop into there, but oh well. So all the EMC from my relay is quickly getting dumped into my Klein Star Iron, which is perfect for me. I'm not going to use a terribly large amount of tungsten on this for now. I want to save that stuff for later. Never know what that's going to be used for in red power, but that'll give my Klein Star a little bit of a boost. Perfect. And there's a couple things I can do with this. First of all, I can just use it to power all my alchemical toys. So my destruction catalyst, my divining rod, and any other alchemical stuff that requires energy can be fueled directly by the Klein Star rather than having to carry around Eternalis fuel. Now I'm interested to see, can I target, let's grab, I don't know, I want to get a diamond and see how well we can produce diamonds with this thing. So let's snag one out from here. There we go. Look at my whole system, just everything's flowing all over the place. Love watching that. You can see it's backed up at the moment, probably as a result of my macerators both being full, but that's okay. See, a little bit of a backup, but it'll all sort itself out soon enough. Now, I want to come over here to my condenser and start targeting diamond. And as you can see, it's going to quickly drain from the antimatter relay. And it's producing all the energy it can. Now, can I do something to help it along? Probably not directly in this machine, but I bet if I were to put my Klein Star Iron in there and just dump about 8,000 worth of EMC into there, so you can see I'm draining out some Klein Star Iron energy. And the antimatter relay is going to start throwing its energy directly into that condenser, and I believe the speed at which it can transmit energy is based on its rank. So because this is a rank 2, it's going to dump out at this speed, but it would be moving a little bit faster at rank 3. Just as an FYI to y'all. Now, we can just sit here and wait for a little bit, but it's probably going to take a little while to build up the 8,000 EMC required to make a diamond. But maybe we'll keep an eye on that and come back. Oh, by the way, you can also use this, I believe, in your transmutation table. So note that the Klein Star currently has 26,000 EMC in it, and I can easily just grab myself a diamond or Eternalis fuel. So you can grab either matter or fuel, and yoink, it steals EMC out of your Klein Star. So neat little trick to be made aware of. Awesome. So that guy's building up energy, and you can see the progress bar down there for diamonds is taking a little while. But I'm going to let that stuff run for a bit. Yeah, I feel like that's probably a good idea. And I'll come back in a little bit once I've sorted out all my items. And maybe one more stopover at the apiary before I wrap up this episode. It's feeling like it's getting to be that point in time where I need to say it's a good wrapping up point. I'm sorry to say. But I'll run over here and just check on my apiary real fast. Probably want to sort around some bees and whatnot. You know what, I should probably set up some lighting in this room. This apiary is probably pretty dark at night. So I've got the Meadows Forest Princess. And what do I got over here? A Meadows Forest Princess as well. Alright, let's just do that. Let these guys combine and see what I get. Maybe a Meadows... Oh, I got a Forest Queen. Okay. Interesting. And Meadows, Forest, Drone, and Princess. There we go. Let these guys combine. And remember, it's a little bit random. It's kind of like genetics, right? It's, your primary and secondary attributes. So there's about a 1 in 4 chance of combining the secondary attributes, getting the forest, which is why I got this guy. So it's a pretty low chance that I would get a forest queen from those two. But it's a pretty average chance of getting the Meadows Forest version, and then also a pretty average chance of getting just a forest. So we'll let all this stuff hang out in here. As you can see, we haven't discovered any terribly new or interesting species of bee just yet, but hopefully in the future pretty soon. And my apiaries are doing a pretty good job. Maybe in the next episode I'll look at what we can do with all the stuff that our bees are producing. But for now, it feels like a pretty good wrapping up point. Stay tuned next time. I want to get some more stuff done with Buildcraft. I probably want to start automating some of that apiary stuff. And who knows what else I'll come across and decide to do. So this is Direwolf20's signing off on episode 15. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take it easy.